Hey there everybody, I'm Auto Guy Bry, and today we are going to be showing you a really quick and easy way and inexpensive way to make your car look a little cooler, make those wheels pop out. In this video, we're putting on treadwear. Let's do it. Okay, so in preparation for this, there's a few steps you got to take before you start throwing on letters onto your tires. And the biggest thing is we got to clean the tire first. So grab your favorite tire degreaser and make sure it's a degreaser that is safe for tires and rims. What we're going to do is we're going to take our degreaser and we're just going to spray. We're going to clean the wheel like so. We're going to let it sit for a minute, and then we're just going to take a really dirty rag and we're just going to wipe it all off. Just like that. Okay, it's going to get pretty dirty. I've already cleaned mine ahead of time, so it's not as dirty as it would normally be, but keep cleaning it until you don't really see as much dirt coming off anymore. Okay, the next step is that we're going to grab a rag, a nice clean rag, and we're going to get some alcohol here. This is the 91% isopropyl alcohol. It's a rubbing alcohol, and we're just going to use that, dip our cloth in it, and we're just going to wipe down the wheel just to make sure everything is off there and it's dried really nice. There you go. And now your wheel is nice and clean, and we're ready for the next step. The next step is going to be to clean off all the letters, just in case there's any leftover residue on them. So take your degreaser and you just want to spray them down a little bit. Take each letter, spray it down, and just take a nice clean rag and rub them off just to make sure that there's no oils left on it. Okay? Then we're going to throw it into our alcohol solution, and we're going to wipe that off now, just to make sure that the letters are really, really nice and clean for better adhesion. Now, the next thing you're going to really want to make sure you do, because especially if you have a long tire name like I have, mine are Continental tires, long name, you want to make sure you spell that one right, otherwise you look like a doofus driving down the road with the wrong spelling of your tires on there. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you actually spell out the word before you put it on there, and that way you can just kind of go in order. So we got our C-O-N, we got a T here. Now what you're also going to notice, if you get orange letters like I have, you'll notice that one side almost has this like black stuff on it, and the other side is nice and clean. The black side there is the side that you're going to be gluing to the tire. That's just kind of a way for them to tell you which side to actually glue. And so we're going to keep spelling this out just like that. Okay, so as you can see, I have the words Continental spelt out, and this other one, this other set of letters is for the other side of the tire. So that is going to be, this came directly from Tredwear Canada. So I'm just going to spell out Tredwear as well. Make sure I do that correctly. Again, trying to avoid looking like a doofus. Make sure the letters are there correctly. Some of the letters you're like, uh-oh, it's clean on both sides, but you know what? Just make sure you put them in the right direction. That way when you're putting them on, you know what you're doing. So there we go, got everything spelled out, and now it's time to start sanding. Okay, so the next step is to actually sand down the area that you're going to be gluing the letters to. Now just make sure that you only sand the areas that you're going to be actually sticking the letters to. You don't need to sand the whole tire or anything. Now I'm using one of these bad boys here. This is a rigid, I don't know what kind of tool this is, but it's got a little sanding thing on it, 80 grit sandpaper. You don't need anything too strong, and we're just going to go over it nice and lightly to the area that I'm going to be sticking my letters to. So I figure I'm just going to start on the top half here. Now you're going to notice that there's other words here on the tires. We're just going to be gluing the words or the letters over top of those words because there's really not enough room or dead space to put a word that long on, so it's going to go over the letters anyway. So let's get sanding. Make sure you don't hit the rims while you're doing this. probably more than enough. And then what we're going to do is, again, we're just going to take a little bit of our alcohol and just make sure that's nice and clean. There we go. Perfect. So before we start gluing letters onto the tires, we got to make sure we're wearing gloves. I just touched my finger to a little bit of this glue and touched a rag and it was instantly stuck. So please make sure you got gloves on. They're going to be your best friend right now. And this type of glue is something that Tredwear sends to you with the lettering kits. So please make sure you use their glue only. Okay, so we're going to take your letter and we're going to flip it over to that dark side like that, and all we're going to do is we're going to create a nice nice glue line. So please try and spread that one out. You want to just do a line around the letters like this, and you want to spread it out, because if you use too much glue, it's going to show up on your tire in this white ugliness. So you really just want to paint it on nice and gentle. Make sure you get the edges. I'm not even really squeezing the bottle anymore. I'm just trying to spread this out as best as I can. And again, wear gloves. They will be your best friend in this situation. Just like that. So very, very thin layer of glue. So you gotta make sure you hold that letter very carefully. And what we're going to do is I'm going to aim for the line going across the top here. That way I can line it up properly. So I'm going to make sure with the C that the top of the C is the thing that gets it. Just like that. Let me tell you, when this stuff sticks, it's an instant bond. So you just want to make sure that everything is stuck down nice and good. And that ain't coming off. That's on there for good. Okay. Okay, so this last step is a little more tricky because you want to make sure that the letters are evened out on this side and on this side, so they're not like too close together or anything. You want to try and leave as much of an even gap as possible. So the best way to do this is to count how many letters you have and try and divide that right up the center here. So you got your letters here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 letters. The eye is kind of small, so I'm going to go halfway through the N here. And you're just going to cut the tire in half. So that's about where you want the middle of your word to be. So what I've done here is I've separated Tredwear here, which is exactly 8 letters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with my W, because that's the middle of the word, and I'm going to put that right over here. Basically, I'm going to have tread here and then wear here, and then hopefully it's going to be even enough on both sides here where it doesn't look too disproportionate. So let's do that. As you see, what I've done now is I've got wear put on here. The rest of the word is tread, so I'm going to work backwards now and put the D on first and work my way this way instead of trying to aim it that way, okay? Okay, so there you have it. That is the Tredwear tire lettering kit. I just want to thank Tredwear Canada for supplying me with all the letters. And if you go to Tredwear Canada and you type in Auto Guy Bry, that's my name, Auto Guy Bry, you will get 10% off your purchase every single time. So be sure to go and visit them. I really appreciate you coming to my channel today and watching this video. If you liked what you saw, hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.